Alright, I hope you're all doing well, guys, gals, pals, and everything and anything in between. So, I want to show you some cool text and title animations that you can do here. Now, keep in mind that something that you'll see with my videos is I've sort of transitioned into, I would say, a more simplified editing style. And while you don't have to do that, that's what I prefer. I like it that way so I can get out daily uploads and it kind of gets the point across. Whenever I show you these effects, what I see a lot of people do over time is they throw out a billion effects for some reason. Like they feel like, they get ahead of themselves. They get really excited. But the thing is, you want quality, not quantity. You don't need to have an overload of effects if the substance is good. You don't want style over substance. So when you're adding these effects to your videos, make sure that they have points and they're not just needlessly thrown in there just as some weird little flex, because it might not even seem appropriate for the video you're even creating in the first place. Now, if you're doing AMVs and stuff, it can help. That obviously is going to require a lot more effects. But I've still seen people where they oversaturated their stuff. So keep that in mind. You're not obligated. If you look at people like Penguins or Moist Critical, he's a great example of simple thumbnails and sometimes the whole less is more approach. So let's go ahead and get into here with it all being said. So you're just going to go down here and you'll take your clips. I've always used this Baki clip to sort of highlight stuff for you guys. So it doesn't really matter what you do as far as like what clip you want. Just pick wherever you like. For this, I'm just going to pick right here. I should probably turn that on. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. So you're going to go over here to sample color. You're going to take this black photo. You're going to want to place it on top. So for this, just going to drag it to that 15-second mark. And I'm just going to split my clip here. And I'm going to get rid of the rest of this stuff. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to go to our titles. Now as you see here, what I like to do a lot to save time is I use my lower thirds. I've used a lot of presets. But when you want to create your own titles, you're usually going to want to look up something like default title, right? So we're going to take this, we're going to drag it down here. And we're going to bring it out. Okay, so fantastic. So here we're going to just double click on it. We can change it to whatever we want. I'm just going to say poggers. So you can sort of change this to whatever you want. You can look manually or you can type it in. Roboto Black Pagi. And you can change the size to whatever you want it to be. For this, I think I'm going to go with a fat, nice, big old 150. So for this next part, click outside because you don't want any of this stuff right here, right? This little stuff. So when you click outside, you're gonna go over here and you're gonna take a snapshot. Always make sure that it's PNG, by the way. That's one thing you want to make sure of. So now we're gonna take this. Alright, so for the next part, you're just gonna take these two things, right? And once you highlight them, you're gonna right click, delete, and then we're gonna bring a snapshot. We can drag it out here. Alright, so you can double click this and you can go over here to compositing. And what we're going to do is going to take this and we're going to change the blending mode from normal to light. And you see how now, beautiful, you can actually see the title on top and the black screen has been removed. For the next part, we're going to go ahead and click here. And for the opacity, We're going to lower it to about 85%. Next thing up, we're going to go over to effects here. So you can either look for it manually, which I don't recommend, or you can search up the water effect. This one right here. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And you're just going to bring it on top of that. So as you can see, look at that. Now you can have a different background, of course. Like let's say you had an ocean background or something, and you want to do an intro for an ocean. Well, hey, look at that. You got this right here. Now, if let's say you're not really feeling this, you're thinking this is way too much, you can always double click it, go over to effect. Let's say change this to 0.10, and we can change this to 3. And now you can either drag this or you can just go over here and do what I do. I don't have great dexterity and my hands shake pretty bad. So unfortunately, like I don't have the best dexterity, so I try to do the less accurate options, you know, instead of trying to drag manually. That's why I also try to use the touchpad here. And I also like try to make sure everything's big for me, because it's hard to click the little X's and stuff for me. That's something you have to learn. You can't be good at everything. Like there's some things I'm genuinely trash at, so I find workarounds. Can't be good at everything, so master what you're good at. What you're good at, master it. Alright, check it out now. Now you have something a lot more manageable. And just like that, you have your ripple title effect.